It's a pleasure to connect again. And I was looking through the last time we spoke, it was about a year ago.
Yeah, right.
And there was a new solo album then, Bigfoot TV. And now there's Ledfoot. So, you know, an album a year plus TNT, you've been pretty busy.
Yeah, I've been trying to keep busy. I mean, I've been on a creative role, so I thought I would just follow the path and go along with it.
Right. Was this an easy album to make, this new Ledfoot album?
In a way it was. We did it the old way, because we gathered some more musicians, like bass and drums and a keyboard player, an external producer. So we worked like in a group for like 9 days, where we recorded and mixed the album in 9 days. So it was like
9 days?
Yeah.
Okay, that fascinates me because there's like 9 genres on this album. That there's country, there's blues, there's 60s psychedelic stuff. There's a song that sounds like it could be a Guns N' Roses ballad. It's stylistically all over the place. Was that how many songs were written for the album, or was there more than made the album?
There were more. I think we had like 7 songs each or something. So, and we recorded, I think, like 11 and chose 9 for the album. So, and I mean, the variety we were seeking for that variety, you know, the Beatles was able to you know, use variety in their albums. So I thought we were allowed to you know, do a little roller coaster thing.
Yeah. So when you're writing for this project, is it that Tim brings a song and you finish it, or you bring a song and Tim finishes it?
It's both. And sometimes we sit down and write together. Or sometimes he comes with an entire song, vice versa. So usually I get some help with the lyrics, though, because you can obviously, you know, switch my lyrics around where they're more believable, since I'm a foreigner.
Well, that also sounds like your TNT creative process, where sometimes you start the song and Tony finishes it. Sometimes Tony starts it, you finish it. So you're open to collaboration, and it sounds like you're a pretty good collaborator.
Some people think I am, some don't.
But what I'm hearing is it sounds like you create every day. I know you've had studio for a long time, but this is what I'm gathering, and you tell me if I'm wrong. Ronni wakes up, Ronni has a musical idea in his head, Ronni goes to the studio, he puts it down, and then it's up to everyone else to figure out if it's coming out. The next day, Ronni does another track or two. So every day you're creating, and you're not thinking about the business behind it.
Exactly, you're right. If I did that, it would kill my creativity, and then I think that's sometimes the downfall with metal, because you're kind of stuck into that format sometimes. So
sure.
So they listen all my solo stuff, and then the collaborations with like Ledfoot is like an outlet to, you know, put that other music out there.
Do the creative ideas for you always start on the guitar? The reason I ask is every guitar great, and I'm calling you a guitar great, every guitar great seems to have that period where they go, I want to do more than the guitar. I also play mandolin. I also play ukulele, and they start writing on another instrument. But is it always guitar for you?
No, I used to ukulele. It's weird that you mention it. I used to ukulele sometimes. I can use the piano, but I would say I prefer writing on a 6-string instrument. Yeah, I do that still.
Was it ever piano for you?
No, I'm not a skilled player, but I know all the chords and do you know the harmonic structures and the theory, so I can sit down and write songs and maybe get further harmonically if I sit down with the piano. At the same time, the guitar has a limitation. I think in some ways that still fascinates me.
And the studio recording setup, is it digital and analog, or just digital?
It's both. We have 24 analog, track analog, as well as digital. So sometimes we track analog. That's a more high cost process, of course.
Right.
and it takes time to rewind. But we last year we did a couple of analog albums, but mainly digital. Then again, lots of the other gear is analog, like the mixing board, the SSL, all the outboard stuff. So we get plenty of that good old chunk.
Wow, so you're open-minded to the creative and studio process as well. So this is a new album for us, this Ledfoot album, but is it like 2 albums ago for you? Meaning, have you already started the next 2 projects like I think you have?
You're right. I'm currently writing some stuff that we're maybe going to continue working on with the 3-letter band. I won't mention the name of the 3-letter band. Not many around, and it's not Dio.
Is it EZO? It's not EZO. It's
no,
not
it's not, and it's not Dio, but you're close. And you know, I'm working on other stuff, and I also produce younger, fresh artists that I like. I pick up maybe a couple each year that I like to develop and work close with.
So putting that all together, that's a unique thing about you versus other classic artists, in that other classic artists are doing 200 concerts a year, and it sounds like you're doing 200 studio recordings a year.
Yeah, I think that's pretty close to right.
But you're also aren't you still doing 40, 50 shows a year around Norway and Sweden?
Oh yeah, I play. I do some shows in Europe, Norway, Sweden, and with TNT or my different solo projects, or when I'm a hired gun, sometimes with other artists. So yeah, so I get to tour and see a little bit of the world, but I would love to see more of America again. So
when was your last trip to the States?
Oh, when was that? It must have been, I played Seattle, I think 10 years ago. I was in Seattle attending a friend's birthday, where I played with Alan White from Yes and Sammy Hagar on vocals. That was in Seattle 10 years ago. Then I think I did a show in Troy outside New York City, avant-garde with dancers and shit. And then I think the very last one was maybe Monsters of Rock or something. So I mean, I'm ripe.
Yeah. So you have a clean passport and you're able to travel. That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah, I think my passport should be okay, unless they think my hair is too long. You never know.
Well, you never know. Some of our favorite bands, you go, why didn't they tour so much? And you find out that 1 or 2 people had passport problems, and that's what kept them. You know, one time they brought something suspicious through customs and it blocked them for 30 years. But in your case, you're not coming to the States because there's work and there's a lot to do in Scandinavia every day.
Yeah, I'm not coming there to suck anything out of America, no.
There you go. So is there a chance we may see you in the near future in the US recording and or touring?
I hear rumors about some shows next year. That's gonna be probably confirmed pretty soon.
Cool.
A few shows in America that I think maybe the TNT fans will treasure that. Of course, I would love to come and play with Ledfoot and do a tour with that material too, and maybe in clubs or something like that.
So it's just a case of make the right offer and Ronni will come.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not expensive. I just want to fucking play.
Well, you know, down to the last 2 questions here, besides promoting, you know, limited edition lava lamp and all that. Besides that, when you're not busy with music, where does your free time go? Because you've managed to keep that a mystery over the years of what is Ronni like?
I think nature is the key word, and that's where I find a lot of inspiration. And I mean, I live in the middle of the forest, close to the mountains. So when I want to relax and do the shit, I go canoeing on rivers, long trips, 2-3 days in a canoe. And it's so remote in Norway, I don't have to see people for 3 days, right? And I like that too.
Wow, okay. And then the opposite of that, what's the last concert that you went to as a fan?
Excuse me, one more time.
As a fan, as a person who did not have to pick up a guitar and get on stage, what's the last concert that you went to for actual enjoyment?
Oh, let me see. Oh, God. I think that was maybe Black Sabbath some years ago. Yeah.
Wow. So the Ozzy retirement tour?
I think so. It was. And then I think the same year I saw Rush. I think that was probably their last tour too. I mean, in my heroes, they're not touring anymore. Like Thin Lizzy, the Beatles, etc. One that still tours that I never saw was or is Mark Knopfler.
Okay, so there's still one concert to still see, and then
or I would love to see Frank Marino and the Mahogany Rush, for instance. I would fucking love to see Ted Nugent, so maybe I get the chance one day.
That's really interesting to me as well, because your fans' favorite artists are also your favorite artists.
Is it? I don't know.
I'll put it to you this way. If you want to hang out with Richie Blackmore and you talk to Richie Blackmore about his favorite artists, he's just going to name a bunch of medieval artists that you probably don't want to hear. But when I talk to you and you're saying the Beatles, Thin Lizzy, Mahogany Rush, I think those are your fans' favorite bands too.
Yeah, fantastic stuff.
Well, Ronni, thank you for your time, and whatever the rumors about that 3-lettered band are, I hope they come true in the very near future, and looking forward to whatever's coming next, whether it's a solo album, Ledfoot, an old band of yours, whatever it is. Keep putting out the music.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for a nice talk.
Paltrocast.